Thank you for the dick, sir.
Sorry, the demons in me.
Hi, my name is Petra HD.
And my name is Plastica Dynasty.
And prepare to look beneath the wig,
under the top,
and behind the concealer.
Oh.
So in this show, we will be talking about a drag mama. We're gonna be covering all the topics, all of the experiences, everything that you might wanted to know but didn't, you weren't able to something.
So what is behind the concealer? What is this web series? What are we on about? Well, it's our show, it's our online web show where we're going to take you, our beloved audience, on a journey behind the curtains, behind the tuck, behind this, behind that, basically tell you what doing drag is all about and kind of get into the details of what you don't really hear from tutorials.
The real tea, the real experience.
I mean, the concept is very simple. 8 different episodes, 8 different guests, and diving into topics surrounding drag, the community here in Slovenia, what it means to be a drag queen, what is a drag personality, how do we end up looking like this, why do we end up looking like this, why does this make sense and why doesn't it make sense, and why will it never make sense?
Because a lot of you probably are not aware of all of the work and all of the things that go into doing drag, especially here in Slovenia.
It's a lot of fucking work.
It's a lot of things that not many people see, so we are here to give you the truth, and nothing but the truth.
And some tea! Because let me tell you one thing, we're not in New York, we're not in California, we're not in London, no bitch, we are on the Balkans, and the scene here on the Balkans, it's very different than what people would expect. We have to tackle issues relating to the scene, relating to the people, because it's very different, and we are not living in a society here on the Balkans that promotes this westernized and basically mainstream drag scene. No, and we're about to show you everything that goes on. My name is Plastica Dynasty, and I am a part of the legendary House of Dynasty here in Ljubljana, Slovenia. I am a polymorphic human woman that is basically derived from unknown advanced polymers. What does that mean? It basically means that every now and then I have an existential crisis and I change my look. Oh.
I am Petra HD, also from the legendary, famous, internationally known House of Dynasty. Who is Petra? Petra is something, a creature of the wilderness. She is stupid. She lip syncs.
Yes, she's very stupid.
And yeah, she performs. She's a performer at the core of her soul. She is cuckoo banana coconuts crazy. How did we begin? We began on a lovely February night.
Yes.
It was
approximately a year and a half ago.
A year and a half
ago, basically. Yeah. So here in Slovenia, there is this annual tradition called Pust. It's basically like
čakaj, ideš malo prevremena. Preskočila si jedan bitan deo. Prvo je bio drag trash shout party.
Ne, prvo bilo Pust.
Ne, prvo je bilo drag trash out, mislim.
A prvo je drag.
Pust pa smo ajde še enkrat gremo. So anyways, speaking of the tea, let me tell you
this is why other people are gonna write my biography.
Let me tell you the real tea. Let me let you in on the real tea. So first we had the drag trash out party in Tiffany, and we, young gays, we were like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Let's get into drag. Let's pop on a wig, put on some makeup, and let's go out and party.
Yeah, it was me, Plastica, and No Name. And that's when we kind of went out and drag for the first time. It was not the best, like we mentioned many times.
Okay, so the thing is, we did not look the best, far from it, but we were living.
Living, mama.
I thought I was the shit.
The only shit. The one and only shit.
Yeah, because I was basically looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm ready to take on the world. Look at me. How can this get any better? You know what I mean? And I was
and it didn't.
Oh my god, fuck off. And I was fully wearing this €4 wig, a hot pink magenta bobica.
This one.
Questionable makeup that a friend of mine did for me. So yes, she did not do her own makeup. Cover brows. What brows, bitch? She was natural. And I was wearing some, of course, as any young gay person that starts doing drag, a choker and a leather harness and a skirt. Well, in the meantime, of course, the mandatory ripped fishnets. While my sister Petra, how are you gonna tell them?
I wear no wig, a skirt, some heelsies, and my leather jacket. And I was giving you fish, mama. She was serving you glamour.
Yes. Trash glam.
You can still find that picture if you scroll a bit further down my Instagram.
I think we can put the pictures here. And yes, I know what you're thinking, and yeah,
You're thinking,
horrible! How the poor girls.
so next time, the very next weekend, it was the Pust party in Tiffany, and we were like, it's Pust, so it's basically Slovenian Halloween. So let's dress up again. How are we gonna dress up?
In drag!
In drag!
I mean, like, basically, after the first time we went out in drag, we really liked it. And coincidentally, just like a week later, was the Slovenian version of Halloween. So we decided, yeah, like, let's go out in drag again. Perfect opportunity, you know. But this time, we were a bit worse. Just kidding.
This time she had a wig on. A long black wig from the magic shop. 10 oysters.
It was horrible. It was I mean, no, it wasn't horrible. Like, it was better, but like, it was still in the same range of it fully being baby drag.
But you know what? We were living the fantasy. And then ever since then, we kind of were like, okay, this is cool. This is happening. We enjoyed it a lot. And we haven't really seen that much active drag on the Slovenian night scene. So we were like, you know what? Let's make it a thing.
We're gonna be the scene. We're gonna be what's happening, and we're gonna be it.
And then we started going out in Tiffany, like basically every Friday, every party, one of us, at least one of us, went out in drag.
Just kind of like experimenting with our looks, with our characters, with the personality, and like that's how we started to get to know the Slovene scene and the night scene and the people, and trying to see how people react to drag.
And some reacted better than others. What the fuck is with this leaf? Oh my god. This is homophobia confirmed. And we just kept going, kept, appearing, being like, okay, we're serious, we are gonna,
We're so devoted.
We're so devoted.
My €2 dress.
Yes. That I remember I bought this ugly ass dress with an ugly ass pattern. And I was like, how can I make this dress better? So I took like spikes from Teddy and I applied them on the top. And I was like, oh, I made a dress, mama. Fully with a beard, fully not knowing what a concealer is.
Funny thing is, I was like actually looking at this dress a while ago and thinking like, ooh, can I use this pattern on something? No.
Cut it up.
No.
And throw it into the trash. Garbage, mama.
I think it's important before we continue to mention that the place we were going out here in Ljubljana, Slovenia was Club Tiffany, which basically like opened their hands, doors, legs and arms and everything for us, and basically gave us a space so we could like experiment and do drag and perform, which leads us to the story of our first performance.
Yeah. I don't even know how, I don't really remember the specifics of how we were contacted, but like I think it was Babsi. We met Babsi throughout one of these weekends when we were going out.
Babsi?
Babsi is the legendary mother of the new wave drag scene in Ljubljana. More about her later, in the later episodes. Stay tuned.
It's a drag queen.
It's a drag. She basically approached us because we met her like once when we were out. And then she kind of contacted us, and she was like, do you guys wanna have do you wanna like perform? Like we're gonna have this thing called the Maid Queen, Majska Kraljica. And it's gonna be like a little competition, something. You're gonna do like a number, and then we're gonna have like a winner. And we were like, bitch, yes. So that was
I still to this day remember how excited I was, because I was like, oh my god, we just came to the scene and we were invited to perform.
We made it.
We made it. Okay, this is what we were born to do. So we fully made it on a Superstars.
Yeah.
Took over the world,
And then that was our first show. which I won, by the way. I won my first ever pageant, not to brag, but just, you know, I'm gonna put that
I'm
in my
pretty sure
CV.
she blew somebody to get that crown, but
I blew everyone, darling.
she blew the audience away. That was
blew-
actually such a nice performance. So there's like, I was very
you.
shocked because like none of us had seen each other. By none of us, I mean the House of Dynasty, me, Petra HD, and No Name Mess. We have a new member now, but that's fine. And basically, none of us had seen each other perform.
Yeah.
So none of us knew exactly what to expect from each other. And this was like such a pivoting point in how we functioned as a house, because like we literally saw what all of us could do back then.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, it was such an interesting experience. Do you want to tell them about your first performance? The winning performance?
Well, so I did a performance, I did a mix from MIA, Go Off, and then I mixed it with a Serbian TV show called Ljubav Navika Panika, where Miss Vera is very pressed about the estrangedness in her family. And then after that, I did a mix of the song Hate by Cesho, a Ukrainian band, and it was basically like this concept of like us as a community being estranged from one another and not coming together and like fighting for like literally no reasons.
She's
and
an activist.
she is a conceptual
Since day
performer.
one, Petra HD had a full concept dealing with activism and hate and politics and this and that.
Yeah.
This bitch is iconic, and that's what we found out that day.
Yeah, like I mean, I didn't know I had it in me, you know.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of took that number because it was very dear to my heart, and the audience responded very well to it, and like I won. So now that's kind of like a number that I do a lot of the times actually. Like I use it and like I upgraded it, and yeah, it's actually like I think my favorite number that I've
She
done.
loves recycling performances.
Well, unlike Plastica, who is not recyclable.
Pane, she's here to stay.
Do you want to tell
You
me
cannot get rid of this bitch. Tell them about what, my first
your first performance?
Oh girl, that's a journey. So we will not be inserting a video of that.
Maybe we should.
We fully will. When the wig comes off. So like my first performance, the same night, Maestra Kraljica, and I remember preparing for the performance, and first I wanted to do a number by Zilia Banks, and I had this concept in my head, but then literally a day before the performance, I realized that first of all, no, I do not know the lyrics. Second of all, lyrics, it's Azealia Banks.
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words, and it's a lot of words being spit out very fast. So like I was like, oh well, let's change this up. And at last moment I decided to do Whip My Hair by Willow Smith. And of course, being under the impressions of like all these drag shows that are happening around us, I was like, I need to pop. I need to do everything on stage. I need to pull out all the tricks from my bag and this and that. So I thought it would be a great idea to have a wig reveal, but not one wig reveal, a 5-wig reveal. And before the show, Petra asks me, Plastica, like, did you rehearse this? I fully confidently told her, no, I did not rehearse this, but you know what? I think I know how this is going to play off and work out.
She's gonna have a main rehearsal live.
Yeah, my rehearsal is in person. She does not rehearse. She's ready for this. I was so confident and I was so sure of myself. Cue the day of the performance. The song starts, and I'm like there living my best life, fully forgetting to lip sync, because you know when you lip sync, you're supposed to enunciate the words. But exactly, and being the first performance, I fully forgot to do that on certain parts. Keep in mind, in the moment I'm fully living for myself. I'm like, oh, I am whipping my hair back and forth, you know. And as I take off the first wig, the second wig comes off with it. So at this point, we're down 2 wigs instead of only 1. And as the 2 wigs come off, the third one is like barely hanging by a thread. And I'm still living for myself, and I'm like, okay, ето otišle, like, dve perike su otišle, išle su. And okay, like I started whipping my hair, continued to perform, because like, I mean, I still kind of felt like, you know, like, you have to continue performing.
Of course.
Of course. And as I'm whipping my hair, because it's a very active song, the third wig just like poofs off along with the fourth. The fourth just like fell off at that point. Like they all gave up on me, basically. And
this is the first 30 seconds of the song.
Yeah, this is fully this is fully the first 30 seconds of the song. Like, everything kind of just falls apart. This whole plan that he had for this 3-4 minute song, whatever, fully went to shit the first 30 seconds of this performance. And in the end, I was left with a wig cap on my head, fully singing about whipping my hair, but it's a wig cap. And yeah, like, so basically, like, long story short, like the performance ended, like I took off the wig cap, I did this to my hair, I kind of tried to play it off and basically improvise. But let me tell you something, like nowadays that we have like a lot more experience with performing, with our drag concepts and everything, looking back at it, oh sis, it was not it was not the tea. But like I'm still very happy because like being able to see this is like the biggest sign of improvement and growth.
Yeah, a pro tip, rehearse before your performances.
Yes,
I think
please.
that's the lesson that we have learned today.
Yes, and do not have 5 wig reels on your first performance or any performance whatsoever, please.
After our first performance in Tiffany from Nightscene, we were invited to have our first show that we were able to write ourselves, direct ourselves, do everything ourselves, the whole concept.
I mean, we did have like some minor like shows and appearances in between.
Yeah.
But this was basically
This was the first time we were invited to like do a conceptual show.
Yes, and like fully given creative freedom to be on stage for a while
Yeah.
and do what we want to do.
And that was in July, and that's when we first worked with Babsi.
Yes.
To create a drag show, to create like a conceptual 40-minute drag show. The end of July, Caribbean Lust. Iconically messy. Again, when we look back at this performance, it's not the best.
But we once again thought this is the concept. This is a theatrical piece of art.
This should be framed in the Museum of Modern Art.
Yes.
And yes, and we gave you storylines, we gave you characters, we gave you lip syncing to spoken word, lip syncing to ourselves.
Fully unbalanced, fully cheesy, serious, and everything in between, or fully mixing these like. It was
Mixing 1,000 things
mixing
at once.
1,000 things at once.
Bosanski
This, like,
Lonas.
Bosanski turlitava, Bosanski Lonas.
It was very bad.
It was very bad, but like it was still very fun. It was an amazing
Yeah.
experience. That show was the point, the pinnacle basically of how we started working together with Babsi
Yeah.
Adler, and
And we worked really great together. Like
Yeah.
she helped us a lot to
Yes.
like kind of like guide us with this concept.
At
like,
first, very indirectly, it was like, okay, maybe try this, try to do this, try to do that. And once we saw how we all worked together, and once we basically got to know each other's working dynamics and this and that, and kind of got to know each other as
Yeah.
well, like we became friends. We weren't just like drag queens at a gig together, but like we became friends.
besties,
BFFs
BFFs forever.
Yeah, that's when we decided that we would love to have a full project together. In reality, it was Babsi telling us, okay,
This was bad because of this and this.
It was basically like episode of
da.
This is where we went wrong and let's all create a show so I show you how this is done.
Yeah, and then we started the drag hacks. Basically, that's how we called each other. It was basically us, House of Dynasty, me, Plastica No Name, and Babsi Adler, working together to bring monthly shows to
Each.
the Ljubljana's night scene. And we had like monthly shows from July basically till March this year.
With every monthly show that we did as the drag hags, basically the House of Dynasty and Babsi Adler, because
I'm now House of Dynasty. I don't belong in a house. I am my own house.
She is the establishment.
she's a powerhouse, let me tell you that. We kind of dug into very different concepts.
Yeah, because we always wanted to have like a show that is enticing and that has a concept behind it, has a story behind it, so that it's not just like random queens coming in and like, oh, I do this number, then I do this number, so that it's kind of like cohesive, well put together, and like it gives off a feel. We had like many different themes. We
Yes,
did the
we
Halloween
did.
show, we did Plastic Saints,
Yes.
we did
And
Night of Severinas.
this was actually very amazing because like we were very baby drag queens at the time, so these like different kind of shows and different kind of themes of the shows really gave us an opportunity to experiment with our drag and the looks and
Yeah.
the wigs and this and that. So like it was such a good foundation of what was meant to happen later on. I mean, look at us now.
Yeah,
Like,
and it was a very good thing to see what works for us, because like
Yes.
as you're growing, as you're like kind of trying different things as a performer, you still don't really know like what do you want to really give.
Not
you
at
know?
all.
And you're like, okay, for this show I'm gonna try this, and then you see like, okay, this
Yes.
worked for me, and then for the next show we had like completely different, theme, and that's how I basically figured out that like I really love doing spoken word things. And I would always try to incorporate like different kinds of spoken word into my performances.
You're actually such. You're passionately rapping queen, and she loves to spit out rhymes and this and that, and be angry
Yeah.
on stage.
And like, I mean, these shows helped like to see if this works,
Yeah,
you can try
basically.
different things, and then like you see, okay, I really like doing this. I look good when I do this.
I look so good right now.
The audience responds well, and it fulfills me.
Yeah.
It's something. It tells a unique story that I want to tell. So yeah, and we all kind of went through this journey from July till March while we're doing these shows, until Corona happened. Hey, Miss Thing, 2020 said hi. So we were supposed to have our first Dynasty anniversary drag show in March, celebrating.
Our first birthday.
Yay!
Celebrating the first official year of us doing drag.
Yeah.
And we actually had this like huge show planned out that was kind of meant to follow up on things we've done. And all of a sudden, as any other pity party, it got cancelled because why? Coronavirus came all of a sudden and started performing in our lives.
Yeah, and it was not the tea.
Nope.
And we did not like it because we were very used to like doing shows every
Yes.
month and preparing for these shows,
Yep.
preparing concepts, making outfits.
Yep.
And we were like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
Oh fuck.
It's not a
It's
sunny
March.
day.
And we don't have any shows. So by the
And it
end
was-
of April.
It was actually like such a shame because like we fully just started solidifying how we approach performing and how we approach getting into concepts and how we
Yeah.
approaching.
Sure, concepts, ideas,
Yeah.
words,
But
I mean, it was finally the time when I figured out my makeup. And I was like, I just figured it out. This is what I want to do. She's a fully
and yes, by the way, yes, she does
established.
call this figured out. I love you. I'm so sorry.
You know what? I tried today. So yeah, by the end of April, we fully had like 2 months of doing nothing, and we were kind of all starting to spiral into an existential crisis. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, this is the state of the world, and like, you know what? We all missed going out and performing and doing something,
Yes.
being productive.
But also we had like as queens here in a city and country and a part of a scene that doesn't really have a very well defined drag scene, we felt like we had like a social responsibility to basically kind of adjust whatever is happening in the world.
Very nice.
I mean, as we should. So what happened was we started a fun little project, and the first one of its kind on the Balkans.
Yeah, we started Yugoslavia because we were like, I was thinking, okay, let's do something online because I saw these like drag online shows happening like, around the world. And I was like, why don't we do that? We could do that.
Yeah.
And like you said, like we felt this momentum up until March with our shows, and we were like, okay, we're riding this wave, and let's just keep going.
I mean, like you can't just like stop all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We were just like hungry for more and more and more. We just got more opportunities left and right and bookings and everything, and all of a sudden it kind of just stopped. But the excitement and motivation and inspiration just like kept getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like as Petra said, we started this fun little project called Dragoslavia, Mama. What is Dragoslavia, Petra?
Yugoslavia is the first ever Balkan online drag show. So what we did is we gathered our Slovenian sisters that we already worked with before, and we were like, okay, we're gonna do this online thing. We're gonna do pre-recorded performances with a host, and we're gonna play it on Twitch.
Yes.
And then we were like, okay, if we're already doing this like online pre-recorded thing, why don't we invite queens from all over the XU?
Yeah, basically the Balkans, because like we live in the Balkans. And like it's not like there is God knows how much of an open scene to LGBTQ plus artists and drag performers. However, all these smaller local drag scenes coexisted next to each other but like nobody really knew each other, nobody
Yeah.
really worked with each other. I mean, like some queens kind of knew each other and this and that, but like there were small scenes everywhere,
Yeah.
but we weren't connected, we weren't unified.
There was not like a bigger cooperation.
Yeah, between us, and like we're all kind of struggling here at the Balkans, being gay, being lesbian,
Yeah.
being everything. Being a part of LGBTQI plus in the Balkans is not easy, and here we are in little pools of queens existing alone and like not really cooperating.
Yeah.
So like through Dragoslavia, we kind of wanted to unify this one entire Balkan drag scene and basically get to know each other and start working together.
Yeah, because we felt like we can do so much more together. We can achieve much more
Yes, of course.
greater things
Yeah, of
if we
course.
work together, if we help each other, instead of just like you said, like living in like
Yeah.
our own little drag bubbles.
Or like just
Without
following
getting
each
into
other
that.
on Instagram, or you know what I
Yeah,
mean? No, like
liking their
let's
pictures,
work
yeah.
together, let's unify, get to know each other, because
Yeah.
like one day when all of this is over, bitch, we're gonna go on a Balkan drag tour, the first of its kind, you know what I mean?
Yes!
Wow!
And I can't wait, honestly.
I can't wait either. And I bet you can't wait either, yes, mama.
So as of now, we had a lot of shows.
We've had
in
quite
Yugoslavia.
quite a few of Dragoslavia episodes. Like I think around like 30-40 queens have gone through the show
Yeah.
and performed and this and that. And like when you put that into perspective, it's basically like 30-40 queens around the Balkan working together and basically like knowing each other and like
Exchanging
fully living for
ideas.
each other. Yeah, exchanging ideas, exchanging different cultural views. Because even though we're the Balkans, for example, the scene in Zagreb is different than the scene in Skopje. And when these two merge, the power girls come out. We grow
And
and we
nice.
prosper, and we are stronger as a community.
So now it is time to take a breather from the gorgeousness of us two and go onto the streets of Slovenia. And we will have our local drag queens going out and asking people what do they think and what do they feel about drag. And also other inquiring topics and questions.
I wonder what.
So now it is time to hit the road, queen!
It's rolling.
Pozdravljeni, jaz sem Vera in danes sem tukaj z vami, ker so me... Hvala. Pozdravljeni, jaz sem Vera in danes sem tukaj z vami, da intervjuvam na ključne mimoidoče, ki se bodo sprehajali mimo mene v moji sobi, ker je korona in ne smem ven. Pa gremo. Lepo pozdravljeni, gospa, a vi pa kar sami tle. No, dajte, jaz bom nekaj zdaj vprašala. Torej, gospa, povejte mi, ali veste, kdo sem jaz? Dober dan, gospa Luč. Kako ste svetli danes, prav čudljivo in toplo se smehljate v tem vetru. Torej, ali ste vedeli, da je danes in prav danes moj party day? Pomeni, da imam party samo jaz in nihče drug. A ste vsak dan tako lepi? Oh, she has lash extensions. I love that. Kam si šla, ljubica? Lepa je, gospa. Dober dan, gospa Vaza. Kako pa vi kaj? Vidim, da ste sami tle, nimate psa, nimate moža, osamljena, samska, tako kot jaz. Kaj si mislite o dragu, oziroma veste sploh, kaj je drag? A ni lepo nebo danes? Poglejte, kaj sem našla. Truplo! Ali ste vedeli, da je prav danes svetovni dan mojega partija? Ja, prav zares. O, dober dan, gospa. Ravno pravim času ste prišli, kajte ravno izvajam intervju o svetovnem dnevu mojega partija in me zanima, ali imate vi tudi vi kdaj partij? A, lepo, čudovito. Mrtva je. Prav. Gospa Patricija, ali ste vedeli, da je danes moj partij dan? Takšno dolgo telo, tako suhi ste. Povem vprašanje, ali sploh veste, kdo sem jaz? Potem pa hitro na Instagram, followajte Vera Vulva, ikonična superzvezda. Kot ste že omenili, poznate drag in me zanima, ali gledate morda RuPaul's Drag Race? Okej, za koga pa navijaš? Iste sestre. We love her, punca gleda Drag Race, punca ve, kaj je drag, ona je seznanjena, ona je informirana. Kaj pa navadi oblečete? Ali vedno greste v tej srebrni fantaziji na žur? Ja, danes so se v bistvu zelo primerno oblekli, kajti sestri, a ne? Ej, Patricija, na kakšne partije rada hodiš? Kam pa ti rada zahajaš? Mrtvašnica, lepo, jaz tudi. Kaj pa te vaše dolge, suhe noge ali poženejo veliko lačnih pogledov na žurih? Lepo, moje tudi, moje tudi. Hvala za intervju, gospa, se vidimo. Se vidimo kmalu in nasvidenje. Bye, bitch.
Stunning.
Okay.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
In the next episode, we will be talking about drag characters, so make sure not to miss.
Personalities and this and that.
We're gonna tell you all about it, and make sure
And
you
we're really
bring
gonna get
notebooks.
into we're gonna get in all of the details, and we're gonna get into between the cracks and between everything. So yeah.
Bring a pen and paper.
Especially if you're somebody who's thinking about starting to do drag and have been busy exploring the idea of drag, make sure to watch the next episode because we're really going to give you tips and tricks to basically tell you the do's and the don'ts and what you should pay attention to when forming your drag character, your drag persona, basically all the topics surrounding it.
Or if you are a smart, curious individual who desires acquiring information, you can just tune in and see all of the good things that we're gonna say in the next 7 episodes.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
tuning in, and make sure to check us out in 2 weeks for the second episode of
Behind
the
the Concealer.
You can find us on social media, Petra HD
Plastica Dynasty.
and Društvo Dih. Thank you so much, Društvo Dih,
Thank you
once
so much.
more.
Without you, this would be impossible. Wow.